Welcome to the StockMatter.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockMatter Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And really hoped that we would have some sort of a move down in the markets today, or at least the start of one. Wasn't to be. Looked at the futures late last night and thought, hey, maybe we're on to something, but hated the fact that it was coming in overnight the way it was, simply from the fact of um, just a lot of time for the markets to digest the news. I think it was Bernanke news or whatever, and it dropped, and it really was just an excuse for the markets to kind of pull back a little bit. But by the morning, they were all feeling pretty cheery about things, and managed to finish up a little bit on the day. But you can see it just getting very tired in here. So we're still just waiting. I am still not playing anything to the long side. I'm still building a bearish position in this. I did take on a few more shorts today, as I told my subscribers. I got short yesterday around 11:05 was my average by the time it was done, and I added some more up around the 11 to 11:15 area, which was exactly what I was kind of aiming to do once it got up there. So we sit and wait. Try to be patient up here and wait to see what happens. All right, let's do a quick market recap. You can see where we hit this overhead resistance on the Dow. That's exactly where we stopped. That's exactly where we stayed for the rest of the day, was just below this line. So, technical analysis, love these lines. They're working very well. Not able to get up and over it. I think the next touch will be 10,500. Maybe, oh man, maybe that tries to sneak its way up towards this area in here and then pull it back really quick and make everybody kind of give them a head fake up in this area. But I'll diagnose that more this weekend. We'll just do a quick Friday rundown here of what we saw. And the markets were straight up on an abbreviated options expiration week. 1, 2, 3, 4 days of trading, 4 days all week long, straight up the entire time. So starting to see a little bit of weakness up here. Things, like I said, I've been getting tired for a couple of days now. And we are starting to see a little bit of you can kind of see the bearishness starting to set back into the markets. Now, where this goes on the way down, you know what? I don't know. I'm not necessarily convinced at this time that it has to break below these lows and keep going, which I know other people are out there are thinking, but I would just tell you to be alert. Now, I am expecting to move down in the markets. I just don't know how far. I'll talk more about that this weekend. NDX on a 60-minute, you can see it staying up and above this area here. And within this big channel we've been watching, it pops above it, hangs out, and then it finally drops. What I've really been watching for are these dailies, and you can see that now we do have two closes above the 50-day moving average. So I still have to remain somewhat bullish on this market just based on what we saw here with the closes. The Dow on a daily, as you see here, also closed above the 50 for the second day in a row. So I do have kind of confirmation that the bulls are still really trying to pick this thing apart. Honestly, would not surprise me to see maybe some more bullishness in the market early next week. I'm going to diagnose that over the weekend. But a drop here would be precisely what everybody would be expecting. So that would be precisely the reason why we would not fall. So you can see that the bulls are sticking around this. If we take a look at the weekly, you can see that we closed right at or on this overhead resistance. This could go about either way at this point. But still a move up nonetheless for the week. So we'll see if that continues into next week. Here we have the SPX on a 60-minute, pushing up and over, looking to make this area here. Weren't quite able to make it, but still, still a quasi bullish chart, really. So I have to, remember that I can't let my bearish biasness in the short term or in the longer term overrule what could be happening in the short term. Trade what you know, not what you think. So here we go, up and over the 50-day moving average. I mentioned this yesterday. The other two indices did it. Why not this one too? And we finally got it today. So we do get a close above the 50-day. We'll see if that manages to push itself up ever so slightly more into next week. So SPX on a weekly, there's a pretty nice white candle here, back up and over the 20-week moving average, but right here too overhead resistance. We'll kind of explore that a little bit more this weekend. VIX on a daily continues to get pummeled. So anybody that might have been buying options up in this area here has had to deal all week with volatility. If you've been in this early in February, you're also getting the volatility sucked out of you from the option side. So just no fear. Nobody's scared of anything right here in the markets. Everybody's just fine with the direction of the markets and where they're going. Apple, man, just anemic the last few days. Down a buck 26 today, but still not much for trading. It's all sideways chop action. Now is not the time to be playing Apple. We have had some very nice moves in Apple the last couple of weeks, but the last 3 days or so have not given us a whole lot to watch. So I stayed out of Apple most of the time. But needless to say, this on a daily still kind of looks like it could just be a bull pullback until we break down below that 200 area. Or even the 198 area. I'm not all that concerned from the bear side yet on Apple. Break of 198 would get me a little bit more bearish on it. Break up and above 204 to 206, and then above that it could run for a little while here. Now you see this setting up to be a very nice potential head and shoulders pattern here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Will we roll over? $64,000 question. That's why I'm watching next week, especially for a break below that 198. Anything below 190 could get Apple very, very bearish. ABX on a 60-minute had a very nice run this week. Let's go right to a daily and show you. We had this gap up and over this falling wedge, and then it moved straight up the rest of the week. If you got in somehow back here, it's not a trade for me. I wanted to see it push up and above. We didn't get it, but in the longer term, it worked out exactly as I had planned, just my entry wasn't there. So if you got in long back here, we didn't even get a retest of the 200. I would have at least liked a retest of this 200. No such luck, so no trade for me this week, but for those of you that have been watching and maybe took a more speculative long on this, you did very well. This was definitely setting up beautifully to break, and it did on Monday. Just not the kind of break I was looking for. ANN on a 60-minute here. You can see it chopping sideways most of the week. If you got in above this area, held all week, you did make money, but this thing is just chopping sideways, waiting for the next move. This will be off my charts next week, but if you're still in this trade and decided to hold it, if you can get it up and over the 20-day moving average, you're doing very well on this trade. I tell you to stay with it till at least this 1340-ish area up here. FAS on a 60-minute. 84 cents. That's like not even hardly a move on FAS. Looking for a break up and over this 74.50 area, get you above this 50-day moving average, and you can see here that I don't, look at it as you will, but we are basing up here on a high. This is a bull pullback. Any break above this 200 period moving average on the 60-minute is also a decent day trading opportunity. You're going to want to be careful, but if you're day trading it, I don't have a problem with you taking a little bit of a long position in FAS. This could still have a little bit of life in it. FAZ for the week, kind of down, moving right to a daily here. You can see this was the break. Rising wedge is bearish. A break below this area was your entry. If you held in it all week, you did very well. Broke below $20, that was your entry. About $1.50, $1.60 or so on that trade. So very nice for a swing trade. If you stayed in it, you could hold this for a while. It is below some of this more major support area down here. So, I mean, we could see 18 or 1750 before it's all over with. HD, this was a great trade this week. Now it's finally going to come off my charts, but I think it's run its course for the time being. If you want to keep watching it, great, but I had an entry at 28.50, then another one suggested at 29, and then back over 29.50. At that point, you were kind of chasing because we had this big gap, but if you got in at either 28.50, 29 and held, I hope you took profits. If not, I'd be looking to cover these come into early next week. Just be very, very careful on that trade, but that was a great winner for us this week for those of you playing along at home. POR on a 60-minute. This one did a bunch of nothing, moving pretty much sideways all week long. Great push up, big move down, a little bit of a doji, another push up, just nothing here, just basing itself sideways, looking for the next bigger move. I still think that move could be upwards. 1950, see no reason why we can't reach some of these upper levels of resistance, especially up here at the $20 area eventually. But you're going to have to show some patience on this particular trade. I would not be in it anymore. Cleared out of most of my trades by the end of the week, except for some of my short trades. I did hold on to them coming into next week. I'm pretty patient, so Eventually, we're going to get a pullback. That might not be Monday, might not even be Tuesday. We might have to wait till Wednesday or Thursday. But for the time being, I'm not scared to be short. I think there's still more risk holding long than there is holding short right now. So I'll be back with you this weekend, cover some more details, see if we can set ourselves up for next week. Hope you guys played along this week, had some excellent opportunities to make money, both on the ETFs and on the regular equities that we had listed. A couple of them played out very, very well, especially HD. So all for my daily viewers, all for free, 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 free. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Pass the website around, tell your friends about it, and we'll see you this weekend. Bye.